We're good to go? All right, well, good morning. Officially, I will call to order the regular meeting of Coachella Valley Water District Board of Directors here in Palm Desert, and today is April 11th, 2023. Wow. Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Good morning, President Powell
Here.
and Vice President Estrada. We'll mark him when he arrives.
Yeah.
Director Bianco,
Here.
Director Aguilar,
Here.
and Director Nelson.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any additions, deletions, or adjustments for the agenda today?
No, sir. Not for today.
We could add a few more legal cases on there. We'll run out of alphabet letters. Is there anyone from the public wishing to comment at this time?
I don't see anybody rushing to the podium, sir, no.
And I do not see anybody using the raise hand feature as well on Zoom.
Okay, so if anyone's attending on Zoom, please use the raise hand feature to get our attention, and we will call on you if you're able to do that.
Nobody's
There is not
correct.
anybody raising their hand. Yeah, I gotcha. Onto the consent calendar, we have items 5A and B. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Move approval. I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passed 4-0. Onto the action calendar. 7A. And let's see, why don't we do this? I know this includes a public hearing, right? Is this the one, or is that the next? That's the next one. That's the next one, the ordinance. All right, go ahead,
Hey, Adam.
Adam.
Okay. Good morning, President Powell, members of the board. The item before you is a recommendation to adopt Resolution 2023-09 that will rescind all water shortage contingency plan level 2 demand reduction actions that have been adopted by CVWD Resolution 2022-28, and also adopt a ban on the irrigation of non-functional turf with potable water. So on March 24th, 2023, because of improved hydrological conditions within the state, the governor issued Executive Order N-5-23, which effectively rescinded portions of prior orders. Specifically, it rescinded the order to the State Water Resources Control Board that required all water agencies to adopt all level 2 demand reduction actions. The State Water Board has stated that it will provide local agencies flexibility to rescind level 2 water shortage declarations prior to the expiration of the existing emergency regulations that expire June 10th. However, the recent executive order by the governor left in place the emergency drought declaration, as well as the ban on the irrigation of non-functional turf with potable water. And the State Water Resources Control Board has stated that it will keep the ban on the irrigation in place, as well as continue to enforce that, and that may also be readopted and extended beyond the June 10th expiration date. Also, in addition, just a year ago, on April 12th, 2022, the CVWD voluntarily adopted a couple of shortage level 3 actions proactively, and staff's looking for direction from the board on if those should be rescinded as well. So specifically, action, I think it's 3.8, was to encourage HOAs and cities not to enforce or assess fines for brown turf. And also action 3.11, where CVWD expanded rebate offerings by increasing the turf rebate from $2 to $3. So we're looking for direction on if the board would like to rescind that action, if so, on what timeline, or if there's specific information the board would like from staff to inform that decision at a future date. We would recommend that any change to the rebate dollar amount be effective based on application date, since we are typically scheduled a couple weeks out for pre-site inspections.
Right.
If I may just real briefly on the issue of the governor lifted his executive order on level 2. The State Water Resources Control Board was directed to adopt a regulation after that. That regulation doesn't expire until June 10th, and we talked about that at the last meeting. But since then, the State Board has had a meeting where they have stated that they're not going to enforce that regulation. They're not going to require a level 2. They're not going to necessarily lift that regulation, but they're not going to enforce it. So based on that, we can change, if the board wishes, section 6 of the resolution and have it go into effect upon the date of adoption. We don't have to wait for anything to happen from the State Board. So that could be easy revision to this resolution shall go into effect upon the date of adoption.
Okay. Do we have any more intel on the, whether there's any desire by the cities to continue their matching programs? I mean, that might weigh into our decision whether to stay at the $3 or not.
So I think Indian Wells is not going to continue theirs any further. I'm not exactly sure on the end date of that, but I don't believe they're going to contribute any more funds to that. And Rancho Mirage, I believe, recently contributed another $500,000 to their program, but we've engaged with them and told them that may have to extend to next fiscal year because we may run out prior to being able to utilize all that within just Rancho Mirage. And Palm Desert, I believe, is not planning on increasing or adding to their program in the future.
Okay, and if we went to 2, I guess it depends on how Rancho Mirage is publicizing their deal, because they're probably calling out the 3 already, huh, in their advertising and all that.
Yeah, we'd have to have discussion if they wanted to keep theirs at 3 or continue a match at 2 and
Yeah, it'd be
lower
kind of
theirs
weird,
to 2
kind of
as
weird
well.
if ours is 2 and theirs is 3, then it's,
Yeah,
you know,
kind of funky.
that's kind of funky. Okay.
Well, demand probably will go down once we get rid of the drought penalties.
It might, yeah, it might.
I mean, that's what spurred a lot of this.
And I think a lot of people are, removing turf is kind of it's not something you just do. It takes time to figure out, you know, what you want to replace it with and hire people. I mean, it's a process.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not easy.
I mean, I'd expect a rush on whenever we set that date to get the $3, and there'd be a rush to get that, and then it'd probably go back to a more normal
I know,
demand.
I think my gut is just to leave the 3 for now and maybe wait a little longer. Just, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but.
If I could maybe make a suggestion, I don't know how staff is about this, but suppose we extend it until June 30th, so it's really just the end of this fiscal year, then it doesn't impact next year's budget.
Well, actually, that was one of my questions. So when we were talking about the budget, did we budget for 23, 24 for $3?
Well, we did our budget, just a hold the line budget, so we budgeted the same amount we typically do. So if we kept it at $3, it would probably just not make it through the year, whereas in the couple of years past, we've had a little left over, I believe.
So you really just budget a lump sum.
A lump sum and our line item in the budget is actually almost all our rebate programs are budgeted under one conservation program payments line item. So that's including turf in addition to all our other rebates. I believe there's about a little over 500,000 remaining in the budget after the board's action at the last meeting. Still remaining.
I'm fine with keeping the $3.
Yeah, I mean, if something gets sideways and it starts getting burned through too quickly, maybe we look at it, for the first meeting in June and,
Yeah,
take another look at it.
yeah, I'm good with that too. And then can you just quickly mention, what are the level 1 conservation measures?
So I believe they're stated in the resolution. What is this, the second page? It refers to table 4. So there's the 12 actions there, and those are kind of always in effect. So it's going to be things like applying water to outdoor landscapes in a manner that causes runoff, using water fountain or other decorative water features, unless it's a recirculating water fountain, applying water to driveways, sidewalks, concrete.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I don't think we need to go through the whole list, but I think my point was that I think, the public just want to make the point that we still have some restrictions in place, even if we lift these.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. And those are the ones that are pretty hardwired into
Right.
folks at this point. They've been in there for a long time.
So just so that we're clear, there's 2 recommendations. One is to adopt this resolution to rescind level 2.
Right.
And then the second is to take some action as staff has requested on the $2 to $3 per square foot, and then the other level 3 item, which was encourage HOAs not to enforce brown
Fines
turf.
and for brown turf.
So you could take an action on the resolution first, and then an action on those 2 things. Separate.
Okay.
So if we rescind to level 2, that means everything in level 2 goes away.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. That's what we wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I'm real supportive of the $3 through June. I mean, the Rancho Mirage has it on their website. I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, okay.
Just, it's just that.
I agree.
Looking through all that, so.
Yeah, all right. So is there a motion to adopt,
Resolution 2023-09 with the change to the effective date.
yeah, okay, so yeah, I'll make the motion to adopt resolution 2023-09 with the change to the effective date to be immediate.
Correct.
Is that what we're saying? Okay. Yeah,
I'll second.
okay. And then we'll deal with the other thing after we vote. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that passed 4-0. All right, and then, and my feeling is we just leave those 2 things alone, right? So do we need to actually add them back in, the brown turf thing and the $3?
Well, those
rebate?
were actions voluntarily adopted by the board through board action. So we just asked that the board take action on whether to keep those in place per a year ago action or rescind or continue.
So that requires action?
We would recommend an action, just so it's clear.
So we're basically talking about 3.8 and 3.11.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I'm curious how, if there's any feelings one way or the other on the HOA brown turf thing.
That's the only, I don't know.
I mean, is it our job to tell HOAs what to do?
As far as water use
Well, you
goes.
just encourage.
We're encouraging them, yeah. It makes sense. I think it's fine. I think it would be confusing
It's not a mandate, it's just
to not enforce penalties on homes that have brown turf.
they still could.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is that one motion or 2 motions?
One motion.
I'll make the motion.
So the motion would be to keep 3.8 and 3.11,
Yes, sir.
which is the $3 rebate level. Okay. And we'll look at that later then. I'll second that, Dr. Aguilar's motion. All right, and then why don't we vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, passed 4-0. And, yeah, maybe we look at it again on that $3 thing in the first meeting in June, and that's 2 months away, so we might know more then. We probably will.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Adam. All right, so now we have the ordinance. Should I launch into the script? Because we have a public hearing, so I'm on 8A now. Public hearing to adopt an ordinance to rescind drought volumetric penalties. At this time, staff will provide a presentation on proposed ordinance number 1422.8, which if approved would rescind drought volumetric penalties and rescind ordinance 1422 Point 7, and following the presentation, we'll open the public hearing. And Adam McQuay, Conservation Manager, is making the presentation.
Okay, good morning. So the item before you is a recommendation to adopt ordinance 1422.8 that will rescind volumetric drought penalties retroactive to April 1st, 2023. Again, on March 24th, the governor issued the executive order N-5-23, rescinding portions of prior orders, which effectively rescinded the request that all Californians reduce consumption voluntarily 15%. And it also rescinded the order to the State Water Board requiring all water agencies adopt all level 2 demand reduction actions. So with that, it is appropriate and staff recommends at this time that drought volumetric penalties be rescinded by the adoption of ordinance 1422.8.
Thank you.
So it doesn't go in effect until July?
April 1st.
April 1st. Same thing we talked about in the
That's
last
the day
meeting.
we did it, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
April 1st.
so,
That's perfect.
Yeah.
yeah, this is the time and place for a public hearing to receive testimony on the adoption of ordinance 1422.8 and the rescission of drought volumetric penalties. I hereby declare the public hearing open. Does anyone attending this public hearing wish to be heard? And if so, please give your name and address and limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Marcella, you made it into the script. You probably wrote this, huh? Do we have anyone?
And I do not see
Wishing to
anybody with
comment?
their hands raised on Zoom as well.
Fair enough. Ms. Cabral, have we received any written communications?
No, we have not received any written communications. Thank you.
Thank you. Council Foray, will you please comment on the notice and publication requirements for this public hearing?
Yes, the requirements for this publication have been met in that a notice of public hearing was published at least 7 days prior to this hearing.
Thank you. Fair enough. There being no further input, I declare the public hearing closed. Board will now take up discussion and consideration to adopt ordinance 1422.8, an ordinance rescinding volumetric drought penalties. Any questions, comments from the board members?
I think we're acting on a very timely basis and responding to the hydrology that we have, and I'd make a motion that we approve ordinance number 1422.7.
I'll second.
0.8, yeah. Right,
Oh, wait, I said the wrong one, yeah. point
yeah,
eight,
0.8. We know what you mean. And we have a second, all right. Do we need to do roll call vote on this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we do. Roll call, please.
President Powell,
Aye.
Vice President Estrada is absent. Director Bianco,
Aye.
Director Aguilar,
Aye.
and Director Nelson.
Aye.
Thank you.
That passed 4-0 with one absent. And that, like we said, was effective April 1st, which was 11 days ago. Thank you, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
Oh, I don't have my thing open. Were there written communications on the agenda? It's going to take me a minute. We're on 9A, written communications. I'd have to open my thing. There was one, huh? Yeah. Let me just get in there. Here we go. It's been resolved. Yeah, sorry. I just want to see it with my own eyeballs. Yeah, right. Okay, good. On to comments, board general comments. We'll start with Director Nelson.
Yeah, it was very, very nice evening the other night with all the employees. It was very
nice.
Very nice to see you all and all dressed up. It was good. I love the fact that it's April 1st and we still have a lot of snow around. That's just terrific. And the rain's not over yet. It's coming on Thursday. So
Was there more rain? I missed that
yeah.
one.
It'll be a small one, but
Oh my gosh.
and then we'll watch the snow melt. So looking forward to that. That's all.
Thank you. Director Aguilar?
No comments.
Okay.
I just want to say, again, The evening was wonderful. You could tell that there was a lot of work that was put into that, a lot of fine detail from, the spinning wheel to all the little extras you guys had and did. It took a lot of work, I could tell. And we appreciate it, and we had a very good time. Thank you.
It was a nice evening. I can only imagine it will probably double in size next year because it was so good. I hope so. Do we have any board requests for future agenda items? Hearing none, why don't we go into these meetings? Peter, go ahead and take the list, yeah.
Mr. President, I submitted a written declaration of all the meetings, and so staff has that. And so I don't need to report on any of the meetings that I have here. That's all on the record.
Nice.
Okay, so then that would bring us down to, how about the March 30th Legislative Committee with Director Aguilar there, right?
Yeah, thank you, John. So are we getting a copy of Peter's report? Or did we? I haven't seen it.
We could. I could go ahead and send it to the board.
I would like to see it.
Okay.
Can't wait, Peter, to read your report. So the Legislative Committee met, Vice President Estrada, myself, with our typical array of consultants, our federal and our state lobbyists. The federal report was basically that because of the narrow margins in the House, that there's very little progress being made and not to expect any major bills coming out of it that would affect us this year. We did take more time to discuss some of the state legislative bills, and we took positions on 3 of the bills in support, 23 on water supply and flood risk reduction reports, which is a processing item, 334, which is public contracts, and on 366, which is the California Long-Term Water Plan supply. We did discuss extensively the Padilla bill, which is the Salton Sea Conservancy bill, and we did express a sentiment to take a position in opposition to it. We wanted to coordinate our comments with IID and with Salton Sea Authority. Salton Sea Authority is meeting to discuss this on the 27th, and so we'll coordinate with their outcome. And that's it.
Thank you. April 4th, we had the Joint Water Policy Advisory Committee. I'm an alternate on that, but I was there, and also Vice President Estrada was there. Pretty good. I mean, good presentation. We did have representation from Indio, Coachella, and La Quinta, so that was mission accomplished. That's the whole point, I think. And I don't think we had anyone tribal there, but overall, happy to see the participation. Kind of the main news, which wasn't really news, was that there's no rate increase on the East Rack this year. But that was well received. Good. It's a good process to have that group get together. Let's see, skip that. April 6th, Chuckawalla Boundary Meeting, Director Bianco.
So that was a Zoom meeting. We had discussed in our prior meeting 2 weeks prior to that to Director Estrada and myself and staff about just leaving the boundaries of CBWD carved out of the Chuckawalla. And I guess there were some comments that they wanted to add in some BLM ground that was there. And I think that we're still, and taking some of the comments that we heard from you guys, on our March 28th meeting, I think that, BLM ground, it's not out of the question that you can't put utilities on BLM ground in the future. And we think that just to be safe in the future, it's such a huge area, the monument. I mean, it's massive. It goes all the way over on I-10. I mean, it's just takes up a lot of land that I think just leaving it out of our service area is probably the best thing to do. So that's what I think we're going to recommend.
Yeah, thank you.
Good, thanks.
April 10th, this DVBA meeting, I was not able to attend, so that's crossed that off. We did have, I don't know if we if we report on or collect per diem for the employee recognition dinner. Jeff, what's the, according to Hoyle, what do we do there?
I haven't looked, I would have to check your policy. I think, I'm not sure. I would have to check the policy to see if that's in there or not.
I'm not gonna claim it.
Okay, I won't either. I won't either. It was too much fun. Not supposed to get paid for having fun. All right, so I did have April 3rd, Vice President Estrada and I and a bevy of other humans were at the Agua Caliente mediation principals meeting, and then there was a small group meeting that followed that at the casino in Rancho Mirage. More to follow on that. That's all I had. Anybody else? No? Is there a motion to approve per diem for the meetings reported on, including those that were included in the written report?
So moved. Second?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passed 4-0. Good deal. General Manager report.
Yes, sir, good morning. I would echo the board's sentiments about the recognition dinner. I think we're still looking at perhaps the right time of year to hold it. I think there were some folks that would have liked to attend, but because of spring break, they had made family plans, and I think we need to maybe work a little bit more on trying to get the word out to folks that don't necessarily sit in front of a computer all day long. But I think overall it was very good. I mean, those are the only two things I could think of. Oh, there was one third thing that I already passed on, is maybe turn the music down a little bit after dinner so people can engage in polite conversation either at their table or at the gaming table. So, but I'm not the only one that had that opinion. Moving on, COVID, one qualifying case. So far, we've had 30 this year. So I guess not gone completely. And then echoing Director Nelson's thoughts, perhaps concerns about the snow melt and potential flooding, at least in other parts of the state. It's a very real threat. So I'm wondering whether I should issue a work request to start work on the ARC. So, just in case, don't want to put all the eggs in one basket. That's all I got, sir.
We have an ARC. We have our emergency center. That's our ARC.
Jim, it will be able to float down the Kern River, starting at Lake Isabella and go all the way out the bay. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Anything else, sir?
Council report.
I have no report today, Mr. President.
Thank you. Do we have any departmental reports today?
Unless somebody wants to introduce a couple of new employees I see out in the group, I think maybe we're okay. Yeah, it's all right. Okay.
I was going to say good morning and welcome to Desert Water Agency Board Member Steve Grasha. Hello. Make sure I get the right agency there. Yeah, I almost said the other one. Okay, good. Welcome. And this brings us to closed session. At this time, the board will recess into closed session to consider the items listed on the agenda, and we will report out here when we reconvene following that closed session.
Alrighty.
Good. Regular meeting is hereby reconvened. We considered the items in closed session. We did not have any reportable actions. And with no further business, we are adjourned.